This story is a little bit older, but it still is a serious one, so we're not going to be really joking around with this one. But I also waited just to make sure that everybody got what they had to say out. I know there's some people who still haven't said anything, but I feel like at this point, there's been so much time to say something.
Nice chain, red bone mains, chain swing, light pretty.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to thank you guys really quickly for I think 170 something subscribers now at this point. We've been growing really fast these past couple days. So if you guys don't mind, hit that subscribe button, maybe get me to 200, that'd be super cool. Today we're going to be covering the Sienna Mae sexual assault allegations towards her ex-boyfriend Jack. Now I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of either of these two people until all this stuff came out. Sienna Mae is a 17-year-old TikToker with about 14.4 million followers on there. And then the other person with this story is Jack Wright, her ex-boyfriend, who has about 8.6 million followers on TikTok as well. So two very large TikTok influencers that are in like some pretty big drama. So like I said before, Sienna Mae is basically being accused of sexually assaulting Jack Wright. Now obviously she denied all these allegations and everybody believed her until a video came out of her doing some pretty suspicious stuff. Now I do want to give everybody a trigger warning. If you guys don't want to see this stuff, skip it or don't watch at all. But essentially in this video, she sexually assaults Jack Wright.
This is me in the white hat. I was taking care of Jack while he was unconscious on the couch. Sienna then hops on top of him and I didn't think nothing of it. I started hearing kissing noises and I peeked over my shoulder and it was exactly that. I was so thrown off guard that I had to leave the situation. Whatever their relationship was at the time, obviously this was not right. So I went back and took Sienna off of Jack. Not to mention when I got closer, I noticed her right hand inappropriately touching his crotch. She was shocked that I pulled her off, and she kept trying to justify what she had just done.
So yeah, after seeing that video, it very much does look like she sexually assaulted Jack Wright. And obviously people are going to be very pissed off about that. And a lot of people had a lot to say. And she actually stood up for herself and had a lot to say for herself as well. Today we're going to be taking a dive into the 13-part videos that she put out on her TikTok, explaining as to why and how she did not sexually assault Jack Wright. Now I do want to make it clear that there are some parts in her 13 parts that I did not pick just because I felt like it was already too long and they didn't really provide too much to her whole story as to why she didn't or how she didn't sexually assault Wright. If you guys do want to see the full 13 parts, it's not going to be too hard to find her TikTok. It's Sienna Mae. But with that being said, let's dive into her part 2 of her 13-part explanation.
Jack has not spoken on the situation and his friends keep dropping cryptic and non-specific information. The initial tweets, as well as the video that I am talking about right now, have been taken down. If you present evidence of somebody being sexually assaulted, don't you think you should stand by it? And it looks a little suspicious when you immediately remove it from the internet. The reason they are removing it is because they know it will get picked up by these T sites and put all over our Instagram pages and TikTok For You pages.
I wouldn't say I'm a T site. I'm just a guy who likes to spark conversation and really dive into all these things that go on in our life. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a T site.
If someone was sexually assaulted, the evidence is evidence. You don't delete evidence. As you can see here and anywhere online, Jack and I were very touchy-feely with our friendship. This is the way that we interacted with each other, and it is in any video you go watch of us. Please, and I encourage you to go watch my recent YouTube videos featuring Jack, our recent TikToks. You will see that this behavior was normal.
She says that if it was evidence or if it was real evidence that you would stand beside it and that you would be with it and you wouldn't delete it. She says that if it was true evidence that they wouldn't have deleted it and they wouldn't have taken it off all social medias and that they would have stood by it. Now for the most part, almost all people that are sexually assaulted in any type of way, they don't come out because it's such a traumatizing experience. So is it too far to say that maybe they posted this and then they took it down just because it was such a traumatizing experience that they didn't want to continue to reminisce on it, but they did have to say at least something? I don't know. It is definitely a little weird that they deleted all that stuff, but I do think that it also isn't super weird that they would delete it, if that makes any sense. Now we're going to take a look at her part 3.
Online, we touched each other, kissed each other, we were playful. Jack kissed me and I kissed him. Within the boundaries of our relationship, this was normal. I'm now going to break down the video and show it to you.
This video is from November 30th, 2020.
Okay. Jack.
As you can clearly see, that is Sienna and that is Jack passed out on the couch, unconscious. This is the first time I met Sienna and I did not know that they had a fake relationship. This is me in the white hat. I was taking care of Jack while he was unconscious on the couch. Sienna then hops on top of him and I didn't think nothing of it. I started hearing kissing noises and I peeked over my shoulder and it was exactly that. I was so thrown off guard that I had to leave the situation. Whatever their relationship was at the time, obviously this was not right. So I went back and took Sienna off of Jack. Not to mention when I got closer, I noticed her right hand inappropriately touching his crotch. She was shocked that I pulled her off, and she kept trying to justify what she had just done. I talked to James and Jack the next day about the situation.
So yeah, there's that video again of her supposedly sexually assaulting Jack, and you can see that this dude does look out of it. So it is a little bit weird that she goes and does all this stuff. She tries excusing it, saying that we always kiss and we're always touchy feeling like that, but you could clearly tell this man is a little bit out of it, so you probably shouldn't even be doing that. She elaborates a little bit more about the video in her part 4 that we're gonna be checking out right now.
The way that Jack's friend narrated this video, I admit, looks so weird and looks just like real. But like my last video where I showed comments that were resurfacing and then provided a backstory, not everything is how you see on social media. This is a breakdown of the video. The clip of me kissing Jack, he is also kissing me. I was looking at him face to face. He was kissing me back. Lachlan claims that he was unconscious. If he was unconscious, why did his arm move when you got up? And also, why was he kissing me back? You claim in your video that you hear kissing noises.
I started hearing kissing noises and I peeked over my shoulder and it was exactly that.
We were kissing. Lachlan also claims that my hand is on Jack's crotch. While it is not, my hand is very visibly on Jack's thigh, upper thigh. This video was very strategically narrated, and the clip of Jack asleep.
First of all, why would you even put somebody in that situation to where you're gonna go and make out with one of their friends literally right next to him? You knowingly make these people uncomfortable, but you still do it either way. I don't know. I think that's just super selfish and just like pretty fucked up for the other people in that room. She says that Jack was kissing him back. How could we know that? We really don't. That's just her saying that. I'm not trying to be biased in any of this, but we really don't know if Jack was kissing her back. He did say that there was kissing noises that could have just straight up just been by her alone. She also says that her hand wasn't on his crotch, but you do see her hand very close to where his crotch is. She continues to explain more about this video in part 5 that we're gonna be checking out right now as well.
After, where he actually was unconscious or asleep, was after we had just made out. If someone's making out right next to me, I'm gonna get uncomfortable and I'm gonna stand up.
So yeah, like I said before, she even knew that these things make her friends uncomfortable, but she still puts them in that situation. It's a complete side piece to what's going on, but it's just kind of weird to me that you would ever even put somebody in that situation, knowing that, like, even you said yourself that that would make yourself feel uncomfortable, but you had no problem putting other people in that uncomfortable situation. She then says that the video was edited. Maybe it was, we don't know. Like I said before, I'm not trying to be biased in any of this stuff, but she says that it is that video where he's unconscious is afterwards. So either way, we do know that this man was either very intoxicated or off something, that to where he ends up blacking out immediately after she makes out with him. So at the very least, she does take advantage of somebody who is not very coherent or can make decisions on his own at the moment. And she does admit that basically in this video right here. Now from here, we're jumping from part 5 to part 6, just because, like I said before, all these videos are going to take way too long for the YouTube video, and just because I felt like part 6 really didn't do too much to help her with her story or to kind of like continue moving the story along.
First of all, if they were so uncomfortable, why didn't they say anything to me? They willingly hung out with me, which doesn't align with the story, because if I was just taken advantage of, I know that personally, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree to this, wouldn't want to hang out with that person the next day willingly.
So I really didn't like what she had to say right there, because she basically said if he was sexually assaulted, and that he also said that this happens all the time, why would he go back to hang out with her? Now obviously that's I think a pretty ignorant statement or something to say, simply just because most people who are sexually assaulted go back to the person who sexually assaulted them, or they just don't speak up because it's such a traumatizing experience. For example, all the people that were sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein continue to go back to his mansion and continue to be sexually assaulted and raped. Now, are you gonna go up to all the people that Jeffrey Epstein did all those horrible things to and be like, why did you go back there willingly? Why did you do this? It's because they were afraid. You're a girl with 14.4 million followers on TikTok. He has 8.6 million. What you fail to realize is that because you have so many followers, that you do have some power. You can ruin some people's careers. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to be biased. I have to continue to repeat that just because she says some stuff that just don't sit too well with me. And I know for a fact it will not sit well with thousands of other people. I'm just saying this just because so I could clear some things up and people could understand that, like, look, just because he didn't say anything doesn't mean that he didn't get sexually assaulted, or that just because he continued to hang out with her afterwards that none of this shit actually happened. It happened, and people always go back to the people who sexually assaulted them. We're gonna be jumping into part 10 now.
Jack, if you really feel like I sexually assaulted you, why didn't you report me? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you come out with these claims months ago? Why didn't you stop hanging out with me every day? Why didn't you say anything till now?
So she goes and says it again. Why didn't he say anything to her? Why didn't she report her? That's such an ignorant thing to say, just because so many people have stuff that happened to them that they don't report because it's such a traumatizing experience. She's trying to use that as one of her points to basically clear herself of any wrongdoing, which is completely wrong. And also, I just realized that, like, yeah, it was kind of weird that they deleted all their stuff, but then we also end up realizing that she is taking legal action against them. So it probably is a smart thing to take those videos down for legal purposes.
Information, because it's not my place. It's not my place to talk about his assault, and I will not do so. But Jack was sexually assaulted, and I was not there, and this is something I'm going to leave up to you to share or not, because I understand that that experience is so traumatic, and I'm still so sorry you have to deal with that.
Like, that part right there in itself is so fucked up. She says that he is sexually assaulted, but she is not going to talk about it. But guess what she just fucking did? She just talked about it, and she just put it out to her 14.4 million followers. She says she's going to leave it up to him to whether if he wants to talk about it or not, and that she knows it's such a traumatizing experience and that she's so sorry. Obviously, you weren't sorry enough to not go and put this on blast for everybody to know that he was sexually assaulted, and now everybody knows about it. What if you wanted to keep that shit a secret? Like most people who are sexually assaulted, they like to keep that shit a secret because they don't want it to be known. But she puts it out there for everybody to know. He didn't even speak about it to anybody. She puts it out there. I feel like people need to realize what she just did there. Ultimately, I think she's making a whole bunch of mistakes in all these videos that she's making, but we only have one part left, so let's go get into that.
But right now, all I want to do is go up to my room and cry and die. Literally just die. And that is not meant to be emotional or make you have pity for me.
Now, obviously, we don't want her to go and kill herself or do any like self-harm to herself, and that's the last thing we fucking want. But throwing that in there, I know she's expressing how she feels, but it just like, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Yeah, she's saying that it's like she's just trying to express how she feels, but it also could be seen as like, oh, she's just saying this to get people to like be on her side. So we basically just took a look at all 13 videos that she has made and posted on her TikTok. I do want to say that Jack has not put a single thing out on his TikTok or any of his social medias of what's been going on. I think he actually may have put one, but it was just like of like some text, and that was about it. Overall, I do think she did something wrong, and I don't think she's trying to own up to any of what she did. She did say that in the video after she got done making out with Jack that he completely just blacked out, meaning that he was drunk or that he was on like, I don't know, whatever type of drugs. Couldn't make his own decisions. He couldn't do any of that stuff, but she was able to stand up, walk away. She was better shape than he was, so she should have known not to be doing any of that stuff. Also, she shouldn't have been putting all those other people in uncomfortable situations like she was knowingly. So ultimately, I do think that she made some poor decisions, but I also don't think that her career should be completely just ended because of this. I do think she needs to take ownership of what she did wrong, because if not, she's never gonna learn from what she did. But I also want to know what you guys think about this whole situation with Jack picking up his arm right there. That was a little bit weird. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that she sexually assaulted Jack? Or do you think this is all just fake? Or do you think Jack is only doing this just to destroy her career? Personally, I don't know which one. Like I said before, I do think that she did a lot of stuff wrong in all these videos. I do think that she needs to take ownership of some of the stuff that she did, because I don't think she's taking ownership for any of it. But like I said, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this whole situation. And until the next video, peace.